Saving $135,000 and still can't get into property. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your Stein or cup of $1 coffee and let's have a look at this article from news.com.au that has been shared to me by some viewers. So once again we have a Sydney family who are trying to get into property and can't do it with a significant deposit. So let's look at this article. Sydney family who saved $135,000 unable to buy a house in the worst suburb. The worst suburb. So we'll see. Maybe there's a little bit more to it. The Sydney family put 6 offers in on houses in February alone. But even with their huge chunk of money, they still can't get into the property market. Well, there you go. Hannah Argett and her husband have been saving for a house ever since they got married 8 years ago and have a sizable sum with over $135,000 in the bank. And that's not a small amount. They've obviously worked hard to get that. You're not getting much interest on $135,000, particularly when you paid monthly, but still. But since getting pre-approval for a loan in October last year, they've had no luck and have watched in dismay as prices continue to surge in Sydney's eye-watering property market. The mother of one said they have been to at least 6 open houses every weekend for the last 6 months, hammering the market to try and find their forever home. And they aren't looking for $1 million place in the Hills District or North Shore either. Now, here's the thing, it may not be your forever home. It may just be a stepping stone. It may be a property that ends up evolving into an investment as you move somewhere else. I don't know why people have that forever home assumption. I guess, they want it. It sounds like it's exhausting. Honestly, I can see, hearing these stories of just people going there again and again and again looking, you just get so over it. So just sick and tired. I mean, when we were looking for a house, we looked at 2, I think. We probably because there wasn't much in the price range that I was looking for. And we actually put an offer in on one in Logan. And I'm really glad we didn't get it. Because the land, now that I think back, just wouldn't be as useful as what we have here. And we didn't pay that much more to get into Brisbane. And it was termites, so we used that to pull out of the contract that were found through it. So we, this every weekend, looking again and again. But here's the thing, they may not just have enough money or enough earnings for where they're looking. What they consider as the worst suburb is still probably too good to them. That's the sad reality. You're not going to have the same life that your parents did with the same income. We're not living in that Australia anymore, guys. That Australia is gone. There's some people who won't be able to afford to buy into those suburbs. So, suburbs they've scoped out include Mount Druitt, Donside, Layla Park, Oakhurst, Glendenning, and Rudy Hill. We've attended over 70 open homes. And at times the line for the open homes extended down the road 20 minutes before the open home starts. I mean, that's just showing you the housing market's not overheating at all. No, not at all. The Reserve Bank aren't worried. Look at this. This is insane. February alone, we offered on 6 places and missed out on all of them, she told news.com.au. We've compared existing properties and new builds, townhouses, etc. We're really exhausting all our options, and it's disheartening to know every week it is likely moving further out of our reach. Even the new house and land packages we've looked at in the space of 4 months have gone up $60,000. Well, that's the government juicing up the market right there. That's what it is, guys. All these grants and things that the government are giving out, which win them votes, kind of screw you over too. That's the thing. They completely screw you over, guys. It's just showing you right here. But can we get people to stop voting for this stuff and stop supporting it? That's the real challenge of all of this. Politicians are not going to accept price reductions. I don't think any of them have the guts to do it. When I consider the first home we looked at to the latest one, both were in Blacktown, comparable size, house and block, but the most recent one has had no work done to it and is in need of a lot of updating. Yet we expect it to sell for over $100,000 more than the one we first saw in early October. What's this a lot of updating? The people, don't they realize they've got to just put up with it for some time if you're living in a crap house? It's not the end of the world. Come on. The 37-year-old added that we're being realistic and aren't trying to buy in fancy neighborhoods with the best schools, but just want a 3-bedroom place with room for her mum. The pair have been approved for a loan of $670,000. So that, I mean, that's a decent amount of coin, but it's not in Sydney. It's not in Sydney, guys. Maybe you're not Sydney people. Maybe you've got to move to another city. It's just showing you. It's sad in a way. You know, all we're hoping is we have enough space for my 70-year-old mum, who's on her own, to build a granny flat so she can retire, she said. We've even looked in what's considered some of the worst suburbs in Sydney, like Blackett, South Windsor, but even some houses there, it's ridiculous what agents and sellers are asking for and what people are prepared to pay. There have been heartbreaking conversations with her son too, who has attended some of the open homes and remembers them, making comments to his mums later about their new home. See, this is the problem. The real estate agents love it when the kids get, you know, excited and call it like a home. I mean, that's tough. That's tough. I remember when I was a child, we only moved once with my parents. And, you know, I was probably a bit older than this, though. You know, this is a young kid, a real young kid. But with the market so dire for first home buyers, the couple even considered buying a 2-bedroom place to build up equity first. She said they've gotten close at times, but keep missing out. There was the one that had building work that hadn't been approved by council, so they were told to walk away, and a different reasonable house in a pretty dicey street where someone offered $40,000 more than them. I don't want to have a pity party. I know I'm not the only person in this situation, she said. It's a big purchase. It's not like buying a pair of jeans and you don't have my size in dark blue, so I'll just buy in black. I'm happy to make compromises and happy to live in the suburb that has a rough patch still on it, and I'm not expected to live in the best school district. At least she's being sensible. But this just shows you, guys, is Sydney a city for a normal family? But you have to have a balance with that compromise. I don't feel like we're being picky, but I'm also not just going to buy anything, as this is a hell of a lot of money that we have to live in for a long time. She works part-time around the care of her 3-year-old son, saving on childcare. I'm not going to miss my son's first steps or first words just so I can buy some bricks a bit sooner. If that's a silly decision, so be it. I know what it's going to mean more to me at the end of my life, she said. Now that is really refreshing to hear. Because in other articles, we're hearing about people who are not having children because they want to get a house. And she's going, you know what, stuff it. If it takes us longer, I don't care. I want to be there for my kid. Now that I commend her for that. That's encouraging. That is really encouraging to read. Bloody good. Good on her. Her husband is employed full-time as a production manager, and together they managed to put away $1,800 to $1,900 a month into their savings. So they're saving decent coin. But she's starting to wonder if the property market is ever going to work for first-time buyers. Not in Sydney. You got to move further out. My biggest, and here's the problem. If you're renting, it's painful. It is utter painful. But you're also not locked into one area. You can move around. You've got some flexibility. Although, if demand is going up, then squeeze you out of the market too. My biggest frustration is feeling like the property market in Australia is the way to make money, as opposed as a way to buy somewhere and make a home and have somewhere to live. Yeah, well, yeah, she's right there. That is what property is in Australia now. It's what everyone sees as a way to get wealthy, a way to get ahead. People don't want to have families. Some people are afraid to have families. They think kids cost a lot of money, which they don't. Honestly, you just don't spoil them. They don't cost that much. They're small. They don't eat that much. Wait till they get bigger, and then when they're bigger, they can work. I know people make investments, but I think nothing is going to change when the property market is seen as a source of income for people rather than as a place to call home, she said. Well, the biggest issue is the property market is seen as a method for the government to easily stimulate the economy. And it'll overheat. But she's right, the culture is also get into property to get ahead. Why start a business? You got to deal with all the red tape, all the BS, all the people. Just sit on property. You can borrow money, sit on property, pay interest only, and make more than your yearly wage in just a year's worth of price increases in some areas. It's just crazy. And this pulls money and investments out of other parts of the economy. That's the problem. And we're winding up with this mess where a young family want to get in a property. They've got a $135,000 deposit. That's double the median yearly income saved in a deposit, even more than that. And they can't get in. We need to make it easier to build. We need to open more land up. But there we go. I have no idea how to fix it until the government starts prioritizing to help people. I'm not asking for handouts of money from the government or to stop people from investing. I'm just asking for a level playing field. See, here's the problem. Government isn't the solution. Government needs to get out of it. I think negative gearing in many regards is an issue, because that inflates the cost of this property because people want to get into it to mitigate their taxes. So we need to get rid of negative gearing, but then let's just reduce other taxes as well to offset that. The government's not getting the money anyway. How can I compete with someone who has 3 houses and can offer more than $50,000 than me? It's a drop in the ocean for them. No, it's not. $50,000 is still a lot of money. I'm not trying to buy in a suburb that is unachievable for us. I'm just trying to find somewhere to call home and pay that off, so when we retire, we're not trying to think about how to keep a roof over our heads. She's also frustrated by the 5% deposit government guarantor loans and people withdrawing from their super to get on the property ladder, which she says just increases competition alongside investors. That's what happens, guys. I have friends who have withdrawn from super to get into the market and have gotten a spot on the 5% deposit government scheme, she said. One of these friends has a history of bad debt and is evident by their lack of savings, but almost feels like that is rewarded and we are being punished for doing it the right way. It does seem like that, doesn't it? It does seem like that. You know, if you've got nothing, you can get on this 5% scheme. It's more government intervention, guys. This is what you're voting for. You got to realize we got to call for politicians that have less incentive to meddle in our lives. My husband and I can't believe we've been able to save a 20% deposit and now cannot get into the market. We thought that would be the hardest part, and now we aren't sure what to do. The physiotherapist said dealing with agents is also terrible at times, as the price guides are often misleading. We just saw one house. It comes up in the filter for max price of $650. The agent never responded to our inquiries. Then we asked at the open home, offers over $700. Meanwhile, the backyard is flooding. The garage roof is leaking, she said. And another shows up for the search under $700. The agent doesn't respond to our inquiries, and they tell us when we arrive offers between $750 and $770. After spending every Saturday looking for places and walking away with nothing, it's hard to do, to just keep going and keep looking. For now, she said the family was done looking, was hoping the craziness of the market subsides soon. She's called on the government to do more. No, wrong. Wrong lesson here. Wrong lesson. No. Why do women always call on the government to do more? In all these bloody articles, it's the same bloody thing. The government is not the solution. They are the ones creating this mess. You're so close to getting it. So close. You saw it with your povo-ass friends who had no deposit, took the money out of super and then got in because of this government 5% guarantee. You almost got it. Almost. She was almost there. Almost. Otherwise, she predicts a huge burden as people get older and approach retirement. She said many would not be in the best financial position and may need to lean heavily on the age pension because they haven't paid off their homes, as it had taken them too long to get into the market, were still renting, or had depleted their super to snap up a property. So there we have it, everyone. I mean, tremendous respect for the mother spending time with her young child ahead of getting into the property market. That is fantastic. I'm really encouraged and happy to hear that, because we see so many of these people putting off having a family just because of a bloody house. And when you're dead, no one's going to remember it. No one's going to care. Do you think I know who even owned these houses before the last owner here that I'm in? Nah. I've seen a photo of him from 100 years ago. Whoop-de-doo. It's life, guys. I talked to an old dude up the street. He remembers my house. Such and such owned it. Can told me all those stories. Okay, fantastic. But it's the family that's important in the long run. So that is encouraging. Almost got it. She almost figured it out. Come on. She saw that her povo-ass friends with no money were getting rewarded and supported by the stupid government interventions. Almost got it. But then at the last minute was calling for more government. More government to solve the problem. How can we fix this, guys? How can we get people to realize that government are never the solution? They're the ones causing this mess. They can't be the ones to fix it. Maybe if they step away, they can. How can we sell that to people? Let me know your suggestions in the comments below, everyone. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.